We're all kind of drowning in data these days, aren't we? Just so much information. It really makes you wonder, how do we cut through all that noise? How do we find truly reliable guidance, like finding a steady boat or maybe a wise pilot when you feel caught in this fast-flowing river of information? So today we're pulling out, well, let's call it an ancient compass. We're diving into excerpts from a really profound text known as the Nāvāsutta. It's also sometimes called the Discourse on the Boat. And our mission basically is to pull out the core insights from this short but surprisingly modern feeling text. It's all about who to learn from, maybe who to avoid, and what it really means to understand something deeply enough to guide yourself and maybe others too.
Right. And it's fascinating because despite its age, this text offers these remarkably clear analogies and definitions, too, of what true knowledge and wisdom actually look like. It gives us a kind of timeless framework for evaluating not just information, but the actual sources of guidance we choose to follow. It's really all about figuring out who genuinely knows their stuff,
Yeah.
And who can truly help you navigate.
Okay, so the sutta kicks off by painting a picture of who we should learn from. It actually says, from whom a person would understand the Dhamma, they should honor him like the devas honor Indra.
Wow. So there's this immediate sense of deep respect for a true teacher. And when it says Dhamma, we're talking about what? Universal truth.
Right.
Living, that kind of thing. Yeah, basically all of that. Think of it as the underlying principles, the nature of reality, a profound understanding. And that comparison, honoring them like gods honor their king, that's setting the bar incredibly high, it highlights a crucial point. The guide isn't just someone spouting facts. They reveal something. They make profound meaning clear. And the Sutta really emphasizes this quality of being learned Bahusutta, which isn't just, reading a lot of books. It implies this deep personal integration of knowledge, wisdom that's been thoroughly heard, absorbed, and crucially understood.
Okay. So it's not just about finding a good guide, but also about how we show up. As learners, does the sutta say anything about our role in this whole exchange?
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely not passive. The text specifically says the learner needs to be attentive.
Yeah.
And that means more than just, listening politely. It's actively engaging with the teaching, dissecting it, trying to live by it. It creates this kind of feedback loop, you see. The learned guide helps the discerning student, and the student's own attentiveness allows them to become insightful and subtle. A really powerful insight there is that true understanding demands active participation. You can't just passively receive it.
Right. That makes sense. Okay. So once we get the qualities of a true guide, the Nāvāsutta then pivots quite sharply, doesn't it? It warns us about those who can actually lead us astray. A really stark contrast. It cautions, let me find it. Associating with the petty and ignorant, a foolish person who is not yet comprehending the meaning and is envious, he passes away without having comprehended the Dhamma in this very life, with doubts uncrossed. That's a pretty strong warning. When you look at our world now, just filled with so many voices claiming expertise, what signs might point to someone being this petty and ignorant guide the Sutta describes?
That's such an important question today, isn't it? What's the real danger here? Well, the text is pretty clear. They're described as petty, ignorant, envious, and this is key, they haven't comprehended the Dhamma themselves. So think about guides today. Maybe people spreading stuff they haven't checked, or those who seem more driven by ego, maybe, than a genuine wish to help others. And that mention of envy is particularly interesting, I think. It suggests a teacher who's focused not on your growth, but maybe on their own status or insecurities. They haven't crossed their own doubts, you see. So how can they possibly help you cross yours? The big takeaway here really is avoid anyone who is still drowning in their own fundamental doubts, because they can only pull you down with them.
And the Sutta doesn't just tell us this, it uses these incredibly vivid analogies. It starts by asking, just as a man having entered a river, a great watery swift current, being carried away by the current, what can he do to make others cross?
Yeah, it paints this picture of just utter helplessness, doesn't it? The ignorant guide is themselves being carried away, swept along by misunderstanding, by unexamined beliefs, by doubt. If they can't even manage their own journey, I mean, how could they possibly make others cross to any kind of clarity or safety? And the text explicitly links this. It says, thus, one not having comprehended the Dhamma, not having discerned the meaning of the learned, himself not knowing, with doubts uncrossed, what can he do to lead others to insight? And the implied answer is, well, nothing. Nothing useful anyway. They can only share their own confusion.
But then it gives us that powerful counter-analogy, the one this whole sutta is named after. The boat, it says, just as having boarded a strong boat, equipped with good oars, he would make many others cross, being skilled and discerning in that method.
Yes. And here's where I think a core insight lies. Authentic guidance comes from internal mastery, not just piling up facts. A true guide has actually embodied the wisdom. They become that stable vessel, capable of carrying others through life's currents. And the good oars, well, they aren't just knowledge points. They represent the practical skill, the consistent effort needed to apply that wisdom effectively. Such a person is skilled and discerning in that method. They don't just know what needs doing, but how to do it effectively, safely.
Okay, so it's not just about intellectual depth then. What about this self-developed and unwavering part? What does that mean exactly? Is that about their character, their own practice?
Precisely. That's exactly it. This truly highlights that real leadership in knowledge or wisdom isn't about charisma or, how many followers someone has. It's about profound internal work, consistent practice. That unwavering quality, it implies this steadiness of mind, of character. Someone who can withstand challenges and offer consistent direction. This person knows the path because they've walked it themselves, properly, thoroughly, without deviation. They've built their own strong boat, you could say, which makes them capable of helping others build or board theirs. And the Sutta then applies this directly. Even so, one who is profound in knowledge, self-developed, learned, and unwavering, he truly leads others to insight who are ready to listen with attention. Notice that last bit too. The listener has to be ready.
Right, the attentive listener again. And that brings us pretty much to the conclusion of the Sutta, doesn't it? Therefore, one should truly associate with a good person, wise and very learned. Having understood the meaning, practicing accordingly, one who has understood the Dhamma will attain happiness.
Yes, and that really underlines the idea that knowledge is most valuable when it's understood and applied, put into practice. The Sutta's ultimate message isn't just about finding wisdom, it's about what happens when you integrate it. By understanding the meaning and practicing, one who has understood the Dhamma will attain happiness. It's kind of promise, isn't it? A promise of transformation through active engagement. It shows that true wisdom actually leads to well-being, to happiness.
Wow. What a journey we've just taken with the Nāvāsutta. Even just these excerpts, we've explored the importance of seeking out the truly learned, self-developed guides, while also being careful to avoid those who are, well, ignorant and full of their own doubt. And those powerful metaphors, being swept away by the current versus skillfully navigating in a strong boat, really sticks with you.
It really does. And zooming out for just a second, the Sutta's wisdom, I think, highlights not just the qualities of a good teacher or guide, but also that crucial receptiveness needed from a good learner. You have to be willing to listen attentively, to discern, and then crucially to put the understanding into practice. It emphasizes that this active pursuit, understanding, and then practicing, that's the path to real happiness, according to the text.
So what does all this mean for you, listening right now? As you navigate your own streams of information, sometimes turbulent streams, who are you allowing to be your guide? And maybe how can you cultivate some of these qualities of a guide yourself? Like being profound in knowledge, self-developed, learned, unwavering. Are the vessels you rely on the people, the sources, are they truly strong enough to help you cross? Something to think about.